Hey there, I'm Elise Baughman. I'm the voice of Pan on Dragon Ball GT, along with some other characters, and this is Rick Robertson, voice of Dabura on Dragon Ball Z, voice of so many other great characters, including Jinx.
That's right, Jinx. That's
Yes.
really the latest character.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk more about Jinx, but welcome. We're so glad you're here. So we are doing part 2 with Rick. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link somewhere so you can see part 1 of my interview with Rick. And we are doing a socially distanced interview, so we are being super safe. We are 6 feet apart.
And that is a great mask.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yes.
They're invisible. They're amazing.
My invisible mask. But I thought what would be cool is because after asking you what you would like to see, I did get some comments that you would, yes, like to see actors, like to hear from directors, writers, but you would like to know more about the process. So I thought it'd be really cool to go through the audition process of when we get auditions in for anime or animation. So since Rick has booked Jinx, the video game is out, we're going to go through the process of how he auditioned for Jinx. And tell us a little about the game first, and then we'll go through the process.
Well, it's a great game. It's put out by Playful, and then
Yes.
it's just an amazing game. I invite anybody to try their hand at it. In this particular case, they were looking for what they called sort of like Disney characters, sort of Disney villains in my case.
Oh, okay.
And it was funny because, you get the audition script from your agent, and you don't know what you're supposed to do. So you have to pretty much guess what voice are they looking for. And in this case, I was very fortunate because I guessed right. And they said, "Oh yeah, you were the one." Obviously, I was very excited. But this is literally the script that I got. I can read some of it.
Rick happens to have a very nice studio because he owns a company. Other people like me, I record from home, so my process, it's still a similar process, just the location is different.
Yeah, your morning drive, by the way, is much shorter.
Yeah, my drive is much shorter.
From like the bedroom to the recording
over
room.
to my
Right.
voice studio. And did you said they wanted Disney characters, did they actually give you a description? Like, we want evil, we want British, or did they just say go?
No, it was
Okay.
pretty much a just say go. This was one of those scripts that to me sort of jumped off the page because I just automatically had a kinship, I guess,
Really?
with the script. And
Okay.
even I was surprised at how well the audition went.
Really? Because
Yeah.
sometimes they will say they need to sound 30, they need to sound 50, they need to
Right.
sound but so
Well, this particular case, it was very interesting because, they cast me as Jinx, but then immediately I was doing a table read over at Playful,
Oh.
and they had a person from Los Angeles, who was on the interactive television directing me, and, so there was a lot of, I guess, pre-production that went into this.
nice.
And they were walking me through pretty much every line. So by the time we got to the recording studio, you pretty much feel ready.
You were ready. And how many people were involved in the table read?
Probably 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
You had writers and then, directors and, like I said, I don't know who the grand poobah was in LA, but, that was the guy.
Yeah, and so that doesn't happen with anime, but it does happen with some video games,
Right.
some animation. So it just kind of depends project to project. It happens with some TV shows, some film, so it just depends. how
That's
it goes.
exactly right.
Okay, make it happen.
Okay, well, so you get the script, you put on your glasses in my case. The first line says, "You're too late, child. Once this chapter is complete, the Book of Ages will be mine." And then, one of the things that they were wanting is sort of someone who could go high and low. There were a lot of gear shifts in this. Is, "Don't you realize you've collected all the pages I need? Now I'll show you the true power of the book." And so, in that case, there's a lot of, sort of animated talking, right? But then he's a father, believe it or not. This is what I talked about before, how the villain has to be likable.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in the last
And
episode.
so the one thing, even though he was evil beyond belief, he loved his kids, or in this case, his kittens. All right? "Oh, sweetheart, I would love to go, but Papa's really busy taking over the world today." I love that one.
I love that.
Ah, my darlings, you've all gone from kittens to cats so fast.
Wow.
So there's a connection that you're trying to make, too. Again, to make this character not just one note.
Yes.
But a lot of it, like this one. No cell will hold me for long. Mark my words, there will be a reckoning, lucky Swifttail. You know nothing about sacrifice, little hero. We lost everything when Meowtropolis fell. I swore to avenge my home world. Little fool, you brought the book right to me.
He does have all of these levels and such range. And it is so interesting to get the aspect of him being a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Because, again, that's part of the hook that makes him so human.
How interesting. Okay, so next we will show you what happens when Elena gets it, because Rick does have an engineer. I happen to be my own engineer when I'm sending out my auditions, but...
Well, you're more mechanical than I am. You know all that stuff.
I pretend to be. I try. So, cool. Thanks for showing us that. I loved seeing you go through that process. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So, this is Elena. She is one of Rick's audio engineers. So, tell us about what you do on this side of the window.
Wonderful. So, basically, I'm in charge of recording. That's like my main thing, is to make sure everything's getting recorded. All of our audio levels are where they need to be. Everything sounds like really nice and clean. That's my main job. I'm also kind of secondarily like a director. So Elise, whenever sometimes she'll record here. Most of the time she records at home, especially since COVID has been a thing.
Yeah.
Socially distanced. But when she would record auditions here, would kind of ask for feedback.
I loved it. She was a great director.
There she is. We kind of just get specs for auditions, and that's just whenever they want voice print, which is like, this is the reference that we're giving you. So that's just me making sure that we're hitting all those points to be like, this is the best audition that we can give to this agency or this agent. I can see where the splits are for lines and takes, so I would just clean it up and make sure that this would be probably one line, and this, I can tell you right here that this is a mistake that Rick made.
Oh.
And he's probably started this line over. I'd have to listen to it to be sure.
Yeah.
But I can clip it out and just go there and then listen to it back later.
Boom.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just little things like that. It's super helpful to go into your digital audio workstation, which is a DAW for those getting into this, and learning like the vocal patterns, and that way it makes editing easier.
So then you would just export that file as an
Right.
MP3.
You can export it as an MP3 or a WAV file. Sometimes the agencies have a requirement, or they want it as an MP3 or they want it as a WAV file. They'll usually tell you. And then you just send it to them and you label it based on what they want it named. Like their last name, then their first name, then the character, and then the accent, if they used an accent sometimes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And then we'll show her point of view here in a second. Thanks, Elena.
Yeah. Bye.
Well, thank you. That was really cool seeing the process. I hope you enjoyed seeing that. If you have any questions about the audition process, just leave a comment below and I will try to get to all your comments. But I appreciate you being here. That was really cool.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate what you're doing, because I know there's a lot of people. I wish I had had that when I was much younger. There's a lot of people who are interested in getting into voiceover and probably may not know, all the ABCs, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, again, like you said, if anybody has any questions, they should reach out to you. Mm-hmm. But we're always here. We're always available, and we always want to help anybody get a leg up.
Yes, definitely. Everything that you said. So let us know, and thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.